I'm up in Ramsey with Geoff and Michael, and we're talking about Save the Bay. Something that I must admit I thought had gone off the boil a bit, but anyway, you've been in touch with me because you've been hearing things. And is it, by the way, amongst rumour, or was it more than just that things are about to start again?
We feel it's more than just a rumour. A number of members have contacted us recently to say that proposals that we had hoped had gone away were going to be relaunched mid-August. And I think it's potentially because a number of people that were contacted that were previously perhaps in favour of the proposals have since, over the last 18 months, had felt their priorities shift when they've realised over COVID, over lockdowns, the benefit of this public space. So they've got in contact with us to say it is coming back, and we of course felt the need to respond to that because it needs to be an election issue. People need to be able to find out all of the facts, understand what they stand to lose, and ask their political representatives at the election whether they support or oppose the destruction of this area.
We've got Michael Starkey on board, so you're never one to hold back on your thoughts on this. And where are you on it?
Just passionate about saving the bay. As we stand here now looking out across the beautiful Ramsey South Shore, it's hard to imagine that anybody could come along and turn the whole place into a housing estate. Can you just imagine in Peel or Port Erin with their beautiful beaches and shores, somebody come along and say they're going to build 200 houses, we're putting a plan in. The local council and the MHKs would be in uproar, but in our case nobody was in uproar. So we've had to form a group to try and fight it ourselves. The MHKs in Ramsey, Dr. Allenson did the opening speech in favour of it at the last public meeting, and he's never come out and said anything against the development and destruction of the shore. Mr. Hooper, as we met him down here and we had a good talk with him, and he didn't give his decision either way really. And so I just can't believe that this place is going to be destroyed. During the last month or so, with the beautiful weather, this shore's been packed out. So some of these MHKs and people need to come down and talk to people on the shore and look and think about what could be lost.
Okay. But I do play devil's advocate on this thing because obviously it's going to be a marina that's going to bring potentially money in here. It could revive the town, give it a new impetus. I mean, there is that argument, right?
There certainly is that argument, and I think one of the questions we get asked frequently is, are you opposed to a marina period in Ramsey? And that's absolutely not the case. The right marina in the right place, if it's what the community wants and it's of benefit, absolutely. A 150 unit housing estate on a public beach, scraping what is a marine nature reserve clean of all life in order to create the reclaimed land foundations for those houses is something that we feel is absolutely unacceptable. And the thing with the economic argument is marinas are very seasonal. They're very seasonal in activity. You get short spikes of economic activity that benefits only a minority, and what you end up having is a two-tier Ramsey where a minority of people benefit from a small seasonal spike of economic activity in one place to the detriment of the entire rest of the town. And we have, I feel, in the island, the best array of independent retailers you will ever find. There's a few vacant lots at the moment. We very much encourage independent entrepreneurs to take up those lots and create new businesses in the town. We want to see the town regenerated and revitalised, but we feel that you don't need a housing estate on one of our assets, our national assets, part of our biosphere, in order to achieve that goal.
And just to come in on that point, actually, now it's been given virtually a blue flag award. There's only 4 beaches on the Isle of Man that have been given this award, and that is Ramsey, Douglas Central, Port Erin and Port St Mary. The rest haven't met up to the European water qualities. Well, this now to me and to others, people are coming from all over the island to swim here. There's just been a big group formed, and it's a ladies group, and I hope this mean this in the best possible taste. They call themselves the Blue Tits group because they swim all year round. But that's on a more lighter note. But on a more serious note, this to me is a place that should be clean, kept clean, tidy. We're actually talking about bringing the Ramsey Bay swim back. There's all sorts of events hoping to be planned here. And it just can't be lost to this. The marina's fine. They could actually think about developing the inner harbour, which would
long memories. I mean, I remember as a kid there was this talk of the marina, and Ramsey was initially looking at it was going to be okay. Then there was a massive swing against it. I mean, I remember when it got down to you might lose your TV pictures because there'd be clanging of things. That sent my mother, amongst others, into the anti-brigade. But investment, and that sort of thing is needed like everywhere on the Isle of Man. So this is a fine line, isn't it?
It's absolutely a fine line. Of course, you want to encourage entrepreneurship, you want to encourage investment. The key thing to understand here is when we launched the petition, we got over 1,500 signatures in less than 72 hours. Now, that's from the community. The government itself, the Council of Ministers, on a report into Queen's Pier Ramsey just 10 years ago, commissioned a study into the viability of a marina and a housing complex of this very type, costing about the same amount. That report, the steering group on that report said or recommended that such a scheme should not go ahead because it's absolutely detrimental to the visual amenity of the location and have unacceptable consequences of the life in the Marine Nature Reserve. Now, a year later, Ramsey Bay was officially designated a protected marine nature reserve and is home to many, many important species. In 2019, DEFRA came out and released a survey saying that eelgrass is thriving in the area, which is 35 times more effective at carbon capture than rainforest trees. So you've seen a lot recently celebration of the Isle of Man's biosphere status, quite rightly, and you saw that in the passion that came with the opposition to the felling of the trees in St Mark's. Okay. If we care about our biosphere, if we care about our environment, we can't give away a treasured public beach and a marine nature reserve to private development. Okay.
I now must just add in, because we don't know exactly what's going on, if the other side have got something to say, we'd obviously give them absolutely time to talk to us. And likewise, we have to mention that you mentioned people standing there in the House of Keys general election. Other people may be standing. When you see this video, please do check the listings for who is standing. In fact, on that, you presumably now think this should be an election issue.
Definitely.
And
Most definitely.
You're looking for that sort of definite thing from people who, and I'm not just saying the people we know now, but anyone that's standing, you'd want to see that as an election issue.
Absolutely, and a number of people have already claimed their support for us, including the Green Party and several other political candidates that again want to see people put before profit. So it's got to be up to the people to decide. We oppose it, but it's got to be a democratic decision.
And you think there could be some way forward? I mean, could you work with the people, maybe would you be interested in putting your views to the people behind this sort of thing?
Absolutely, and from the very start we've been very open to a dialogue, to express the views of people that are concerned with this venture, and unfortunately that hasn't happened, I think.